Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. Tonight we are going to be doing a couple of Indian things. We're going to do onion bhaji, which is a street snack, fritter thing that's really delicious. And we are going to be doing a Vindaloo as well. So we'll get into that in a sec. I got a few things I want to go through when we get to that part. But first we're going to do our cocktail as always. I think tonight I'm going to do a Negroni, which I think we may have done a long time ago. But there's only so many cocktails in the world, and it's time to revisit this one even when we have done it in the past. A Negroni was invented in Italy in 1919. The legend has it that Count Negroni, who is the drink is named after, was a regular patron at a cafe which name I can't remember, and there was a bartender there whose name I also can't remember, but anyway, he got sick of drinking the Americano, which was Campari, sweet vermouth, and soda. For the Count, that just wasn't strong enough, so he instructed the bartender to replace the soda with gin, and Negroni was born. Scarcelli, I think, was the bartender's name. Anyway, not super relevant, but I'm going to make it. It's one of my favorites. It's a great before dinner cocktail. It's quite bitter. So it definitely needs to, let me see if we got to switch over to the, yeah, there we go. So, again, I'm using Hendrick's Lunar for this one. And it's a super simple drink. It is oops, maybe not quite that much. It's just one part of each. So I'm going with an ounce of gin. I'm using Dolan Vermouth this tonight. Cinzano's fine too. I don't particularly care for Martini and Rossi, the other vermouth that you can buy at the LCBO. But if you like it, go ahead. And finally, Campari. And this is actually quite bitter. Sweet vermouth takes a... Whoa. This is brand new. Oh, no, it's not. Sweet vermouth takes a little bit of the edge off, but this is definitely on the bitter side as cocktails go. Maybe a bit of an acquired taste. Sorry about that, guys. A bit of an acquired taste. And then when that's in there, you just want to give it a stir. I'm going to use a chopstick, but a spoon would be fine too. And there you go. Very simple. Great for a weeknight. Here's everybody. Yeah, it's just a great tasting cocktail. It's almost like a gin Manhattan or something, but quite bitter, which is going to be good because we're doing heavily spiced food tonight. So we're going to do two things tonight. I'm going to show you the first recipe, which is for the onion bhaji. I'm going to hold it up. Oops. So let's go back to here so you guys can back up a bit. There you go. So this is for the... Hey, Paul. How's it going? This is for the batter. And I'll show you in a sec. So basically, baking powder, turmeric, cumin, garam masala, which I have here. I make my own. It's really easy to make and it's yummy, but store-bought is just fine. Chili powder. So when Indian recipes say chili powder, they usually mean cayenne pepper. Salt and water to make it a batter. I am going to use tonight, you can use any onions you want. I had a red onion in the fridge, so we're using a red onion. You slice it really, really thin. This is the spice mixture for the batter. So, Basin, I don't even know how you pronounce it. But this is chickpea flour, sometimes called Basin, sometimes called gram flour. It's in every supermarket. Easy to get. So we're just going to add the spices to the batter. Give it a little bit of a mix here. And I'm just going to add water to this until I have the right consistency. How much onion? That's one onion. It was a pretty big one. I'm going to have more batter probably than I need for that much onion. But it's kind of just what I had on hand. Okay, so we just want to make this into You want this about the consistency of heavy cream, maybe? Like a really thick whipping cream. You think so? No water. Or you need a little bit, I think. Well, now I've made a super thick batter here. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go with just a little bit of liquid here. Based on... No? You don't think so? Alright, well... I'm going to see how this goes then. What we have now is a paste. Which is not exactly... Yeah. Okay. I don't think this is going to mix up. I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more liquid. Okay. Still going to add a little bit of liquid because I'm going to be able to toss these into a batter. So I'm going to have to go with that for now. Because I don't think... Well, I guess I can see. Let's just see what consistency we get here. Turn that. This will definitely help it, like, stick together. No, I as I said, the recipe just kind of said add water to make it like a batter without really saying too much about it. But I think you're right. I think that if I had gone to a heavy cream consistency, because the whole time I've never made these before, and the whole time I was researching them, I was trying to figure out like, you know, how is this going to hold together in the oil? And I think this is just about perfect. So, so we'll drop one in and try it. Like, see how it goes. Okay. Let's do a test fry and see where... Yeah, this is actually kind of cool. Alright, what do you think? Is that this is like fitter-like to you guys? Look about right? I'm just going to drop that in the hot oil and see how it goes. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good consistency. I'm going to give this a shot. We'll try it. We'll do a test one, and we'll see how it goes. I'm guessing about 3 minutes in the fryer for that one. And then we'll see where we're at. I'm not looking forward to cleaning my whisk after all that. So you can eat these like straight out of the oil, apparently, or you can like dip them in raita. Apparently, is a really popular dip. So we'll see how that goes. Let's get one out. I want to do a test one to see how it is, and then we'll go from there. This, by the way, is also it's also vegan and gluten free, which two things I never thought I would do on stream. So there you go. We have reached a milestone. Okay. My oil is very hot. This is actually looking... It's not going to be 3 minutes, that's for sure. This guy's almost done. Put him out on a plate. How's the Kingston crew doing these days? Yeah, 3 minutes will be overkill. This guy's done. It looks really hot. Okay, I'm gonna drop another one so Serena can try that while we wait for that to cool a little bit. We'll do 2 more. That's a really big one. Okay. Oh yeah, he did look pretty fluffy. What kind of trim did you do? Okay, I'm gonna just I'm just gonna taste this and see where we're at. Ooh, hot. Okay, so it's really tasty. It tastes quite delicious, actually. The onions are a really nice consistency. We had it in about the right amount of time, I think. I think that Rebecca was right. I think if we'd gone with any more liquid, it would not have stuck together the way it did. So I'm really happy about that. I guess so. Does it last longer that way? So the first one's ready. This is really tasty, actually. Okay. I'm not quite ready yet. I just want to flip them over so I get both sides cooked. Give that another 60 seconds maybe. Whoa, that's what done. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let that finish, and then we're gonna talk about how we're gonna do the Vindaloo tonight. Because when Vindaloo was requested for the stream, I realized that they normally cook a long time. And of course, I'm not gonna make you guys sit and watch. And I didn't want to do the have one going and show you how to make it, because I like Vindaloo a lot, but I don't want to have a ton of leftovers. So I thought of a good shortcut, which will make this way easier for a weeknight. Because the thing with Indian food is, and if you have by the way, if you have a Instant Pot, they are phenomenal for Indian food. It just shortcuts everything, because Indian food is really heavily spiced, so you don't really need to simmer Indian food for a very long time. Generally, the simmering, the cooking time is to tenderize whatever the protein is. So, and the Instant Pot does that. So let me just fire these off, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to set this aside somewhere, and we're going to get into the Vindaloo. So, I don't know if you guys remember last week. Was it last week or the week before? When I was talking, I had the duck confit out. And I can't even remember why, but I always have duck confit in the freezer, sometimes in the fridge. So this is what we're going to do. To make a quick Vindaloo, we are going to cheat, and we're going to use duck confit. So this is duck Vindaloo. Duck confit is, of course, it's already been cooked. We'll crisp up the skin, and then we'll make our Vindaloo, and we won't have to wait 75 minutes for it to simmer on the stove. So that's going to be our method tonight. Now, oh yeah, turn the rice on. Yeah, I hope that's done in time. I normally serve this with basmati rice, or sometimes some yummy potatoes, like fried potatoes or something. But rice is traditional, so we're going to do it with rice tonight. and we are going to do, let me show you the recipe. So I actually kind of tried to write this down for you guys, because while we are doing technique tonight, I kind of like this recipe for, this is my own, like, Vindaloo mix. Again, all the usual suspects here: turmeric, cumin, paprika, coriander, cayenne. Now, we'll get to cayenne go back to cayenne in a sec. It is worthwhile looking up online and making your own garam masala mix. But if you don't, store-bought's fine. Mustard seeds and fenugreek seeds are probably the only thing you don't have on hand. Other than that, 10 onions, a ton of garlic, 2 tablespoons of ginger, 2 tomatoes, and I'm cheating again tonight. We're going to use these nice Italian ones I had from the little market down the street. Cider vinegar, apple cider vinegar, in fact, salt and sugar. So that's, you guys can go back and freeze that frame if you really, really need to see the recipe. But let's get right into this. Not 10 onions. Did I say 10 onions? 10 garlic. No, I'm doubting myself. 10 garlic cloves. If I said onions, I apologize. It's just 10 garlic cloves. And that's kind of medium. I have giant garlic cloves for some reason, so I only used 8. Okay, yeah, it's not 10 onions. There you go. So the first thing we want to do is crisp up the duck. And since I have a ton of duck fat, we're going to crisp up the duck in duck fat. And then we'll just set it aside. I like crispy skin on my duck. And quite frankly, you do too. Even if you don't know it, it's definitely the way to do duck. And again, we're just going to put it. This is going to be just a couple of minutes. We just want to like get a nice crisp skin, and then we're going to set them aside because they're already cooked, which is the beauty of those things. And then we'll just set them aside. If you don't, we should do that one week. We should show you what I do with ducks. So when ducks go on sale, I'll buy 4 or 5 of them, and I make duck confit with the legs, and I make duck prosciutto out of the breasts. I mean, I might save a breast or 2 as well to like eat. But duck prosciutto is amazing, and it's so easy to make. So we're just going to let that go till it releases. Hopefully my camera... Oh, let's go back to this. The duck cam now. It is too hot. And I'm assuming we don't have any delay issues this week, so that's good. Yes, Kingston finally gets his duck fat. Come on, I just don't want to release yet. That one is... How are we doing there? Now, I just lost my skin on that one, which is annoying. Take that off the heat for a second, guys. See if that's popping like crazy. Okay, so we got one with skin, anyway. And unfortunately, it looks like we lost the skin on this guy. Oh no, we didn't. We got it. Okay. Crisis averted. Let's pop that off the side. Repair my skin. Okay, not perfect, but not too bad. Okay. So now that we have, and whatever oil you're using, and guys, you can do this with like any cooked protein. I had duck, so I'm using duck. I mean, chicken vindaloo is not really a thing, but hell, you could use like leftover chicken in this. Like throw in whatever you want, make it your own. Okay, so the next step is then to, these are the mustard seeds and fenugreek seeds. These go in for like, well, you'll see. You just pop them in, and as soon as they pop, you'll see the fenugreek seeds will start to pop. So this is one of the really common Indian techniques, is frying spices in oil to make, it's called a tarka. And I just want that last one to pop, a little bit darker. There we go. Go a little bit higher on the heat. And then we're going to do the onions next. There we go. Okay. You can see them popping all over the place. Onions in there to get that pan cooled down a little bit. A little toss. Again, if you're doing this at home, you don't need to have the heat up as high as I've got it, because you won't be in nearly as much of a hurry. Or maybe you will, I don't know. Where'd my thing go? Oh, yeah. And now we just want to get some color on our onions, and we want to go relatively dark on these. Oh, that was such a great movie. Such a good movie. I was going to talk a little bit about the cayenne pepper in my recipe here. So I have onions are going everywhere. I have a teaspoon in mine, which will make it basically like white people spicy. This is a going dish. When I make this, if I know I'm going to be the only one eating it, I'll put up to like 3 or 4 tablespoons of cayenne in it. It's supposed to be, vindaloos are supposed to be quite spicy. So add the spice to whatever your tolerance is. But you really can't make it too spicy. And again, I'm basically like, you're not a whim, you just know what you like. You don't like super spicy. Remember too, like, the more spicy, you get acclimated to spicy food. The more spicy food you eat, the hotter and hotter you can eat it. If you never build up a tolerance, there's no shame in that. I do like spicy food. And as I say, guys, like, if you're at home and you're making this dish, you can sweat these down over a lot more time than I'm taking here. Cooking should be enjoyable. You know, you don't need to rush in the kitchen. Take your time, make it fun. Same thing, you know, we've covered that when we talked about like knife skills and chopping onions and stuff like that. You know, you're not a prep cook. You're not prepping for service for 200 people. You don't have to be lightning fast cutting onions or preparing your food for doing your prep. A little more color on these. Almost ready for the onion and garlic, or sorry, ginger and garlic. Okay, I'm just gonna let those go for a sec. We can still hear the fenugreek seeds popping. reduce these a little bit more. There you can start to see some of the color we're looking for. Vindaloo is normally pork. Duck is another one, and duck vindaloo is actually a thing as well. But it's normally made with pork. You could probably do, a vegetarian vindaloo with cauliflower. And as I said, the vindaloo is the technique. Like that's what it's traditionally made of. You could throw in, if you wanted to be totally vegetarian, you could throw in a protein substitute of your choice. Whatever the Beyond Meat version of pork is, throw that in. You could throw in deep fried, like a fried tofu. Yeah, pretty much anything could take the role of pork in this dish. Almost there. Kind of taking these down as far as, I can. You can see my pan's getting quite dark here, but we'll capture all that flavor and fond with the liquid from the tomatoes. Oh yeah, we're keeping the fat. It's all in here. I mean, if you use duck fat and tofu, it's not vegetarian. Okay, I got some pretty good color there. I'm not going to take it down too much more. I got a nice, like a jammy consistency. The onions just release their liquid. This is kind of where you want to be. Okay, so this is, as I said, about 2 tablespoons of ginger and a ton of garlic. And this just goes in for like a minute. And then the spices are going in next. Ooh, it smells amazing. Wish you guys could smell this. Keep moving on this high heat. And then again, this is all the other spices that we talked about. I just pre-measured them to save time, and you would want them all pre-measured. So again, we want to mix this. This is where the technique part of it, Indian food, comes in, is frying the spices in oil. In this case, duck fat. The deep fryer is not off. Oh, it is. It's off. Yeah, it's too high. As much of a hurry we're in, this. Woo! And you can just smell, well, I can smell the spices bloom. It's quite great. Okay, I want to keep that for 30 seconds. Pop my tomatoes here. Again, if you have fresh tomatoes or decent tomatoes, you want 2 chopped, drained, ready, or chopped and ready to go. But in the interest of time, we are going to go with canned tomatoes here. Now I'm going to turn this down. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a breather here. And you can see, you guys can see that the tomato liquid's releasing the fond from the bottom of the pan. So we're recapturing all that flavor back into the dish. And then we're going to let this just kind of sit for a sec. Okay, so now if you were doing it with uncooked duck or an uncooked protein, you would add them in now in this step. And now I'm not going to put the duck in now because I really just want to put the duck in long enough to warm it up. But what I want to do is get this to a sauce consistency. So you can see it's like really, really thick right now. But we haven't finished adding everything we're going to add. So we're first of all going to add, this is about half a cup of the apple cider vinegar. So that goes in. To cut the vinegar just a little bit, this is, I forget. It's on the card. It's probably about a tablespoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. So that's going in. Stack this up. And then I'm going to see. So if you were doing this with an uncooked protein, like pork or duck, you'd probably add about like 2 cups of water at this point, give or take. And then you would put your protein in and you let it simmer for 75 minutes until your protein was cooked. Now, we're not going to do that. But I do want a sauce consistency, and I do want to give the flavors a chance to blend a little bit. So I'm just going to add water, what I kind of think is right. And we're going to eyeball this and just bring it to a sauce consistency. And we're going to have to wait because my rice isn't even close to ready. I should have turned the rice on sooner. We may be doing a riceless taste test. Okay, but while we have a sec, let's I'm going to let this just come up to a boil and then we'll reduce it to simmer. Any questions so far? I feel like this is really straightforward, this one. This is an easy weeknight meal to make. And it reheats beautifully. It might actually even be better the next day. Okay, I'm just going to let this simmer for a few minutes and you guys can tell me how your week's going. It's Wednesday. I have Friday and the following Monday off this weekend because it's my birthday coming up on Sunday. And I never work on my birthday, but then I was in a bit of a quandary because my birthday was on Sunday. So I didn't need to take it off, but then I felt bad not taking a day off work. And then Serena suggested take Friday or Monday off in lieu of my not taking my birthday off. And that seemed like a great idea, but an even greater idea seemed taking both days off, which is what I did. You could do either. So I like having the whole duck leg whole, so and I like the presentation of it. There would be nothing wrong with taking it off the bone and putting it in, but I will say that I've made enough Vindaloo here, like enough sauce or gravy or whatever you want to call it, for a lot more duck than I have. I made the full recipe, so this would serve 6 people with the duck that it's supposed to have in it, which is like 2 whole ducks or something. I didn't want to scale it back because I actually quite like this, and I'm going to keep the sauce base and make other stuff with it. So the answer is, if you were making a full recipe and you had a ton of duck meat, there would be nothing wrong with taking it off the bone and throwing it in and making it like a more of a stew. I am going to just warm my duck legs up in the actual in the Vindaloo. And I'm going to wait and taste this when it's all together. So I've made this a whole bunch of times. Normally I would be like tasting as we go and seasoning as we go. But I'm pretty confident in the way this is going to be, and I kind of want to save the taste test for the end. And again, I feel this is about the right consistency. So I'm going to pop the legs in, and my rice is not going to catch up. I have a feeling this is going to be a riceless tasting. So any other questions, guys? Now is a really good time. I do want to wait for this just to reduce just a little bit. We can actually, you know what we can do? Let's talk. We always wait till the end, but we have a few minutes here. Let's talk about next week. What do you guys want to see? I feel like I don't know. I'm pretty flex actually. I've been itching a little bit about getting back to some Italian. So keep that in mind. But we've done a lot of Italian. But I gotta tell you guys, like, Italian is like one of my go-to favorites. I never get tired of cooking it. I like that it's a few ingredients and it focuses on the high. Well, I mean, any dish should focus on super high quality ingredients, but Italian is particularly good for that because most dishes have so few ingredients. Oh yeah, we could do the farro salad. That's a good one. Maybe we'll do the farro salad and something else. I don't remember how long that took to make. And again, I'm going to give this at least 5 minutes to just come up to temperature. Okay, actually, you know what? We're going to wait. The rice is ready in 9 minutes. Chicken souvlaki. Okay, so I've been dying to do souvlaki. Do you want to do souvlaki next week? Do we do like the full plate, or do we do the in a pita? Do we do both? Now I'm hungry for chicken souvlaki. You guys work that out. Let me know what you're thinking. I feel like, well, I don't know. Okay. That's what we'll do. I think that's a really good idea. And it's also one of my favorites. Do you want me to run through how to make homemade tzatziki? Homemade pita. I could probably do that. I have never made pita before, but I have started baking, so probably I can. Yeah, we lost our skin here. Okay, I will look into it. In the future, I will be crisping my duck up in a non-stick pan. So we're just gonna let this go. Sorry for the delay, but it's not too long. We got like 6 minutes to go before the rice is done. We'll have a proper little platter. And we don't have a cool thing this week. We did the Pullman pan last week. So, we'll see. I will say for next week, I'm hoping to, not this has anything to do with cooking, but more from a stream perspective. I'm going to be experimenting with a video broadcast switching board to sort of maximize the screen real estate we have here. I realize that everybody at home, like I have the chat on the screen, but everybody has the pop-out window. And, the Pullman loaf turned out great. The only thing is, and maybe if there's a baker in the channel, it turned out great, but let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I slice it and freeze it. But one of the things that happened was that it's not quite pronounced on these pieces. Let me find one that... And I don't know if I need to cook it longer, but this happened on a few of the pieces. The top collapsed, and I'm pretty sure, yes, this is the top of the pan. So you can see, I don't know if you guys can see actually, those ridges and those ridges and those ridges are all from the top bottom side of the pans, and it's smooth on top. And just as it was cooling, the top of the loaf collapsed slightly. And I'm not a baker, so it tastes amazing. But I don't know why that happened. And I don't know, even the second loaf I did, which I had in for pretty much like the maximum cooling time, maximum cooking time for the range. It said 25 to 30 minutes, and the last one I was in for like 31 minutes. And it was a beautiful color on the outside, just it sagged in the middle. And of course it doesn't reflect the flavor, and the texture of the bread is still great. And it wasn't raw or like uncooked in that section, it's just the top of the loaf caved in. So still got to experiment a little bit with that, but I'm really happy with the homemade choco pan. Honestly, I never thought I'd be able to bake. I just baking's never been my thing, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And since we have 2 minutes, somebody should have reminded me. Plates in the oven, guys. Come on. I'm gonna have to blast these now. Okay, we got 4 minutes on the rice, and then we get to do a taste test. Get my duck knives out here. Okay. Feeling good about this. It smells so good. And I like the consistency of the sauce. I think the duck legs are going to be nice and warm. I think we're good. It is hot in my kitchen. It's like 30 degrees in here. Which actually isn't too bad considering it's like really cold out. So I know we're getting like a ton more snow. Really happy about that. So even though we've decided on next week, if there are things you guys want to see, you let me know. I'm never going to run out of things I want to cook for you, but I'm happy to do requests anytime. Okay, bread is almost ready. The bread. The rice. The other grain. Another question I want to throw to you guys is, and I've mentioned this a couple times in the past, and I'm really trying to work it into my workflow. I'm going to, oh good, I'm glad. I'm going to start editing down and also creating content directly for YouTube. So I love doing the stream. I'm never going to stop doing this. I love doing everything live. However, I've had a few requests from people who want to see created content, tutorials and whatnot. So most of you guys have been around. Do you have a favorite episode you'd like to see me redo as like a curated, produced tutorial lesson kind of thing? I'm tempted to do the Crunchwrap Supreme just because I think that one's so much fun. But also the fettuccine Alfredo is a really big favorite of mine. So if you guys have like a greatest hits kind of idea or whatever, let me know what those are. It doesn't have to be now, you know. Dig through the streams or just let me know when you see me, because most of you will at some point. Okay, rice is 1 minute and then we are tasting. I just want to again, yeah, the Crunchwraps was just fun. It was fun for a whole bunch of reasons. It was fun because it means something to me. I really like the actual invention of the recipe. It's a really fun technique. They taste really good. We got to make homemade cheese slices. Like, it was all good. We'll just bring this guy over. So I'm using basmati rice for this, of course. Well, not of course. You don't have to use basmati. I mean, use whatever rice you happen to have on hand. But I had basmati rice, and that's traditional, so I'm going to use that. This can go off. I'm going to prepare one for Serena, and then I will deliver. Oh, yeah, the fried chicken was really good, too. And I love fried chicken. I kind of feel like the wings and fries one was good, too. Did we do wings and fries? We did wings and fries. I'm sure we did. Okay, so let me get one out to Serena. A little rice on the side there. I want to take the duck legs out. Tongs. Take the duck legs out of the pot temporarily. Come on. The slippery guys. Okay. That will let me ladle in some of the sauce, gravy. I work with a whole bunch of oh yeah, homie, that's right, I remember that. I work with a whole bunch of Indian people. And we always talk cooking, or well, pre-COVID, back when we still went to the office, we always used to talk cooking, and they coached me on like so many amazing things and techniques they used in their home kitchens and whatnot. And they call every sauce to them is gravy. They're all just everything that's a sauce is a gravy. So I guess this is a gravy. But anyway, let me deliver this. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm going to take cutlery too. I'm back. Okay, this is now cooled down. Let's make one for me. Let's get a spoonful of this, a ladle full of this in. That off to this. Oh, let me switch to the presentation cam thing here. My counter's a mess. Forgive me tonight, guys. I'm moving a little slow. I want this in like that. Clean up the plate a bit. I just made a mess, didn't I? So there you go. I hope you guys can see that okay on the camera. This lens doesn't zoom. I can put it up to you. So there you go. That is a weeknight duck vindaloo. And we're going to dig in and I'll tell you how it tastes. I kind of wish you guys were here with me to taste it. So I'm just going to go right in for duck and sauce all at once. Yeah. Yes. Just yes. This is it has an incredible so amazingly, like, how long do we put this together in half an hour. This sauce didn't really simmer. No long simmering. It has an incredibly complex smoky flavor. Wow. Duck was a really good choice. It is going to be borderline too spicy for Serena. Even with 1 teaspoon of cayenne. But wow, it's a flavor bomb. In a good way. Like good bomb. It's, wow. Okay. So I highly recommend this, guys. This is a very simple technique. It's a massive amount of flavor. If you were serving this to kids, I would just take the cayenne out. Because there's so much going on. There's so many spices in this dish. Wow. Okay, this is actually kind of one of my new favorites. I haven't made a vindaloo in ages. And it's funny because the Vindaloo I used to make before had more turmeric in it, so it was a much yellower color. What do I taste the most? Well, honestly, I taste a little bit of everything. I used a really, really good quality smoked paprika for this one, and that's very apparent. Everything else is just, it has a base level of flavor, like a flavor, almost like a flavor floor. It's just, the spice is definitely not overwhelming. You can taste everything else with the spice. And the duck is a really good complement to this. I gotta say, like, duck confit, of course, a classic French preparation of duck, perfectly at home in Indian cooking. Wow. And it is, we're probably going to hear from Serena in a second. It's pretty spicy. This is definitely a dish. To be honest, if I had more time, you would serve this with a couple of chutneys. You'd serve it with raita to take some of the edge off the heat. Even a big dollop of just plain yogurt would be great. But it doesn't really need it. Yeah. I'm just going to keep eating this, guys. Sorry. Okay. So, before I just, pig out, take the duck out of my teeth. Any questions? I really feel like this is good. I love it. I'm really, really happy with this tonight. Yeah, very pleased with the way this turned out. So I'm going to throw the floor open to questions. You know what? Even for me, that spice builds. That's spicy. Oh, shoulder for sure. Tenderloin, any loin cut is going to overcook and get really tough. You need something that can stand up to 75 minutes in the sauce. So pork shoulder, Boston butt, pork shoulder, cross rib roast, any of those cuts will be fine. Every supermarket labels them a little bit differently. Picnic roast, any of them would be fine. I would, when I take my pork roast apart, I actually trim them out pretty well. You can take a lot of the fat out of that cut. It doesn't particularly benefit the dish. But this also makes this a very inexpensive meal to make because, if you shop at this, and here's a great use for supermarket pork too, because supermarket pork goes on sale sometimes insanely cheap, like $1 or $2 a pound, and that would be a perfect protein for this dish. And you're not losing any of the subtle nuances, if you do a pork, and I love pork chops. Big thick 2-rib chop is great, and it has an amazing flavor. And perfectly cooked pork is a wonderful thing to eat. But this dish is so heavily spiced that it really is just going to benefit from having that pork base flavor. You're not going to miss any of the nuances of a pork tenderloin or a nice rib chop or something. It's perfect for this. It's really good. I need a little more, guys. It's good. So I don't have a whole lot else for you tonight. We've done what we came to do. I'm probably going to sign off and make something else for dinner. But as always, thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. I love doing this for you guys. And next week will be really great. We're going to do the farro salad, which has become one of our favorites. Might even make it into the Blue Book, although it's not currently in the Blue Book. And souvlaki is just an amazing thing to eat too. So that's going to be all next week. And other than that, that's all I got. So I'm going to hang around for like another 30 seconds just because of the lag. And if there's one more question or two more questions, I'll take it. But other than that, I'm going to go eat. Oh yeah, sorry. So I'm just looking back. The mac and cheese is definitely one that we should do. Hey, and the steak platter would be a good one too. Okay, guys, I'm done. I'm gonna go eat my food, finish my beer. You guys enjoy your night. I'll see you all next week. It's been a pleasure.